Shalom, everyone, and welcome back. This coming Shabbos is a very, very special one. The Parsha of Chukas Balak is a double Parsha, where we talk about the story of the wicked king of Moab, Balak, and how he hired the wicked prophet Bilam to curse the Jews as the Jewish people were passing through his land and on their way to the land of Israel. And we know the story how instead of cursing the Jews, God put blessings into his mouth, as we find the famous prayer, Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov, how goodly are the tents of Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, were said actually by this wicked prophet Bilam, and they came out as blessings. And thus we find very often that when our enemies curse us, they turn out to be the greatest blessings of all. And we have tremendous blessings as a result of those so-called curses that they did. And history is replete with examples of that. After the Spanish Inquisition, there was a flourishing of Jewish life in Europe, in Poland, and in Russia, and so many other places. After the Spanish Inquisition, after the Holocaust, we have the emergence of the State of Israel, and so on and so forth. After the pogroms in Kishinev in the 1800s, millions, literally millions of Jews came to America and revitalized Jewish life in America. And it was a blossoming of Jewish life, which we are experiencing to this very day. And every single time there were pogroms, there were curses of our enemies. They turned out at the end to have come, blessings have come from them. So we don't want the curses, but we certainly want the blessings. This coming Shabbos is a very special one. It is the 12th day of the month of Tammuz, Yud Beis Tammuz, which is the anniversary in the year 1927, when the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, of blessed memory, was released from his communist imprisonment, which he was held for over 50 days, and he was released and allowed to leave, and eventually he came to America in 1940. The previous Rebbe was a very remarkable person. The Rebbe used to call him the Rebbe der Schwer, the Rebbe, the father-in-law. He would call him Nasi Darenu, the leader of our generation. The Rebbe always considered him his mentor and his guide for everything he did. People accredit the Lubavitcher Rebbe, our Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, with revitalizing world Jewry and Judaism, with the creation of Chabad houses all over the world after the Holocaust. But actually it was the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe who got everything started, who started this remarkable transition with the emergence of Jewish day schools and yeshivas and sending out emissaries, his shluchim, to different communities in the United States and in Europe as well. The previous Rebbe actually got the whole thing started, and it was through his inspiration that our Rebbe was able to continue and carry forth. And I think that our Rebbe believed very much that that is true, that it was because of his father-in-law that all of these things came about. Who was his father-in-law? His father-in-law was the son of his father, Rabbi Sholem Ber Schneerson, who we call the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he was quite a remarkable person in his own right. And the previous Rebbe was his only son, in fact, and he was a great scholar. The previous Rebbe was a tremendous scholar. He wrote many, many discourses, mamarim, Hasidic discourses, which are studied in yeshivas and in synagogues to this day. His insights into Hasidic philosophy and into the situation of the Jewish people was really quite remarkable and inspirational for all of us as we continue to this very, very day. And we are inspired by it to this continued day. So Hasidim celebrate Yud Beis Tammuz with Farbrengens all over the world, with gatherings, with making l'chaim, with making positive resolutions to learn the Torah, the teachings of the previous Rebbe, as well as the Rebbe, and to be guided by his example of what Judaism should be, as the famous words of the previous Rebbe were, when he came to these shores in America, he said, America is nit andrish. America is not different. Just as we need to be a good Jew and a strong Jew in Europe, we need to be a good and a strong Jew in America as well. The Rebbe said that he did not come to America to flee persecution in Europe. In fact, he fled Nazi Germany. He was in Warsaw in 1940 when he came to America, and he fled from there in a remarkable story, which will soon come out in a book by my friend Rabbi David Eliezer very soon, and we're looking forward to that book about the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. But he came here because he realized that Judaism and Jewish life is not going to be centered in Europe and in Russia anymore. Certainly it will still be there, but the center of Jewish life will move, and in fact it did, to America first and to Eretz Yisrael right now as well, and now it's revitalized all over the world. So I want to wish everybody a good Yontif for Yud Beis Tammuz, and join your local Chabad synagogue in celebrating Yud Beis Tammuz with L'chaims and good words and Farbrengens, and I want to wish you all a good Shabbos as well. Candle lighting is in San Diego is at 7:43. It's going to start getting a little earlier every week, and we look forward to see you in Shul and during the week as well. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.